Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. We'll get started here in just a minute. Just getting all the tech set up. Super excited for today's topic. We are going to be chatting about balance and what that looks like. And how do we create a culture of balance? What does that mean? So I have a special guest today who is having some tech challenges. So hopefully Jonathan is able to join and we'll be able to roll forward with him, no pun intended. And we'll have a conversation with Jonathan Boyd, the founder and CEO of Breakthrough Guitar. And thought it was fitting to be able to bring him on today. And knowing that he has some technology challenges today, we're just going to roll with it. If the technology gods are smiling on us, then fantastic. And if not, then that's all good too. And we'll actually just bring him on to to another week when he can have stable technology. He just happened to be in an area that wasn't going to be working out so well. So I'm happy to just start chiming in today and bring anyone on video. So if you are in the Zoom room, the Zoom webinar room, and you are willing to come on video with me, just do a little hand raise and I will, I'll bring you on and we can have this conversation together. And I may pick someone out as well and ask your permission. And you can also type in the chat and let me know that you want to come on video with me today. So Patricia, so great to have you here. Tracy, great to see you. Xander, great to see you as well. I picked this topic and it's just such an interesting topic. There are no accidents as to, and I plotted out the whole schedule of these weeks and the content that I wanted to talk about for the different components of culture and how they all kind of flow together. And it seems to be mirroring my life, which is always fascinating, right? And so I want to start out by sharing a little story with you guys about my journey over the last 6 months. So I've been, I was asked in August to join the Genius Group as their global head of partnerships, which was just amazing and so grateful, and love Roger Hamilton and the work that he does. Talent dynamics is a foundational component to the work that I do and the culture transformation that I'm able to help schools achieve and individuals achieve. And Patricia, yes, it will be recorded and you can watch the replay. So the when Roger said, hey, will you come and help me with this project for a bit and kind of help me get this off the ground? It's a yes, right? Because I've admired him as my mentor for so long, and the work has truly been transformational for me, knowing that I'm a creator profile and knowing what my natural brain-wired strength is and all of those things. And knowing, those of you that know wealth dynamics and talent dynamics, I am a creator profile, and which means that I am big picture, head in the clouds, great at starting things, not so good at finishing things. It also means that I'm an eternal optimist. It means that I see the good in everything, and I really want to I can see things clearly. So I'm a visual learner, but in terms of like the actual time that things take, always at least twice as long as my brain can visualize it to be. I don't know if anyone else can relate. So I jump into this project and I have my team in place at Educator Dynamics and we're rolling right along. And it was a lot. And those around me, you know, noticed that I was working all the time. And no matter where I was in the world, city dating tours and all, I continued to work and continue to you know, have laptop will travel and loving the fact that I can work virtually and I can be anywhere in the world. And that's such a blessing. And I'm so grateful for that. The other piece is like, where is my balance? Where is my rhythm? And what does that rhythm look like? And so as I'm on these city dating tours, like I'm seeking this. And I'm also juggling 3 companies. I've got my nonprofit running Genius Camps. I've got Educator Dynamics doing culture transformation work. And then I've got the Genius Group Project. So with all of that in the Genius Group Project and building the EdTech platform that's so amazing and going to be serving so many educators and edupreneurs today and as we grow forward, I hit a wall last week. And it wasn't just last week. It was building through the layers of what is my true heart's calling, and really what is that? And it is to work with educators and to work with leaders in education who are driving this conscious educator movement. It's not just me. There's so many of us that are doing this and that are revolutionizing education from the ground up. And that's where my heart and soul is. And the Genius Group Project is a big part of that, because the technology is a piece that we need in order to revolutionize education. And when I spread myself too thin, and I know this is true for so many people, other things start falling by the wayside. Health, sleep, sanity, connections, all of these other pieces start to get to this place where there's like little universal nudges along the way. And if you're not paying attention to them, pretty soon the Mack truck will hit you. And I have, more times than I can count in this life, had the Mack truck hit me and ended up in fetal position, not able to function, fearful of everything around me. And I started noticing some of those tendencies come up. I started noticing the waking up and having stressful thoughts and task-based thoughts versus waking up and having my gratitude practice, waking up, looking forward to my exercise routine, looking forward to my meditation. I started actually finding myself just shrinking almost and just feeling that the stuck energy. Does anyone else like know what that sensation feels like when it just feels mucky, right? And when you feel that muckiness, using technical terms, it's not resonating. It doesn't resonate. It's dissonance, right? And so Susie Batiste talks a lot about this. I don't know, those of you that follow her, she's the founder of Poopery, brilliant, amazing woman. And when we're in resonance, we know we're in resonance, right? Our nervous system is settled down. We know that it's there. But when we're in dissonance, things are firing and it doesn't feel right. And we have tension headaches and we have this going on and we have gut issues and so if we're paying attention to those little nudges, because our body is so intelligent and our body will often tell us things before our mind catches up. And if we tap into that, then we can start noticing and then getting curious with what's really going on and what we truly desire. And so as I started kind of processing through this in the last few months, really, and looking at my true purpose and my true passion in this life, and it is to serve educators and edupreneurs and to create safe containers where your voices can be heard, where you are seen and heard and valued. And that is my career love, is to do that and to create that. And if I myself am pulled in too many different directions, then I'm not practicing what I preach. And I'm not in alignment with my core values. And my number one core value is love and trust and empathy and compassion all go together. I don't believe for me that I can have any one of those without the other. And so if I am going to trust myself, that means trusting my intuition. If I'm going to love myself, that means truly loving all aspects of what I'm doing and how I'm spending my time, and having that compassion, that empathy for myself and for others around me. That's my version of balance. That's what it means for me to be in the rhythm of my own life. And I'm either going to listen to it, or I'm going to continue to ignore those pieces and go, no, I'm fine. I can power through. I've done that my whole life. My ACE score, those of you that know the adverse childhood experience score, is off the charts. And like so many of us that experienced things that we wouldn't wish on any child. And unfortunately, we lived through them. Fortunately, we lived through them. Unfortunately, we experienced them. And it created a lot of characteristics that actually do serve me if I use them consciously. But the times when it doesn't serve me is when I start thinking, oh, I can just power through. I can do this, do more. And it taps into what we talked about a few weeks ago with this hustle culture. And if we are constantly in this state of hustle, and we are in this state of like, what that means is not enough, right? If I'm trying to hustle or I'm trying to seek what's next, I'm in a space of what I have right now in this moment is not enough because I need something more. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes you do need something more. Sometimes you need more sleep, right? And sometimes you need more food. Sometimes you need more revenue. And sometimes you just need permission to feel what you feel in order to allow your natural brain-wired strength to emerge, to go, this is what I truly desire. This is what matters to me most. And through my travels and through time, really just grounding, no matter where I was, and recognizing that I'm not seeking happiness somewhere else. I'm not dating different cities and looking for a place to move because I'm unhappy. I'm doing it because I'm looking for the nature environment that resonates with me. And if we can really tap in and understand that we're all just simply looking for our natural rhythm in life and that flow. And when we can slow down long enough to actually think through that and really be mindful of what is coming up for us in our bodies, because that's usually the first sign, then we can actually get curious and get to the next step of resonance, of rhythm, of balance. And balance is truly that yin and yang, right? Balance is, when we think about the word balance, the first thing that, just type in the chat and let me know, what is the first thing that the word balance conjures up in your mind? When you think about balance, think about like just the word. When I say, I want you to balance all the things, most people think of a teeter-totter. Absolutely. Right, Tracy? This teeter-totter of like, it's good or bad, right? It's either in balance or it's out of balance. And so then there's judgment attached to it. And if this is what our unconscious mind does, even with the word balance, imagine what it does to the rest of our neural pathways, right? Unstable, Xander. Then it does that to our nervous system of not enough, right? If we're trying to balance and there's a good, bad, right, or wrong associated with it, now our nervous systems are firing to seek goodness, right? Because we want to be seen, heard, acknowledged, valued. And if we're not even seeing that within ourselves, because we're already unconsciously beating ourselves up with our bat of not enough by using the word balance, then it's not serving us. And if we're using the word balance as in the dose of masculine and feminine energy that serves me, and that's my balance, and that is your thought process, then that's working, right? But if it's not working for you, then we get to shift the language that we're using that does resonate. Well, so often when we think about language and the way that we communicate both internally and externally, it's these little subtle shifts in our communication that allow us to have that ripple of impact that serves us versus invokes more judgment. When we have these times in these places where we feel out of balance, where we feel stressed out, where we feel like it's just all too much, right? And the world is on fire right now, and my heart goes out to all of my friends who are in the Ukraine and everything that is happening over there. I want to wrap you all in a big hug, praying for your safety, and that the world can actually someday find a place where we actually just stop judging one another and we celebrate and acknowledge one another. And this is all connected to how we're creating these cultures and these environments, whether it's our internal culture, right? Our individual culture of what's going on in our heads, whether we have, as my coaches say, itty bitty shitty committee or itty bitty cheerleading committee, which one is louder and how are they serving you? That's our internal culture. And our external culture can be our families, our teams, and then our organizations that we work in or are experiencing. It's all a ripple of impact from who we are showing up as. And if we are stuck in the uckiness of out of balance, which is where I was. And so last week I spoke with Roger and said, I need to step down from this role. And I want to tell you that I'm honored to have been in it. And it's right for me right now to focus on educator dynamics and really this movement, this conscious educator movement and education revolution from the ground up, and empowering and igniting the inner genius in educators all across the planet. Because we're going to be the ones who actually revolutionize education. And that's my version of balance. That's my version of rhythm. And we each individually get to figure that out for what it is for us. So if you are a classroom teacher and your version of balance is really just owning the environment in your classroom and making a difference for the babies that you serve on a daily basis, and your babies could be 18, they could be 25. I don't know what age they are. I'm still going to call them babies and kiddos. And so if that's your environment and that's where you feel empowered to thrive and create those relationships and create that learning environment and that experience to fuel and foster their inner genius, then design your version of balance in that space. Because oftentimes what I'm hearing from educators is when they're trying to be all things to all people and serve everyone everywhere, that's when the overwhelm and the burnout and the peace out, I quit comes into play. We are having districts across the nation are losing hundreds of teachers every month. It's not okay to not live your soul's purpose. It is okay to find the right environment that resonates with you and or to create it for yourself. You get to create the balanced life, the life in rhythm that resonates with your soul. And so when I have a chance to bring Jonathan back on, we'll talk about rhythm. We'll talk about how he, as an edupreneur, and his love for guitar led him to creating a multi-million-dollar business around teaching guitar, because he's able to do that as his passion, as his purpose, and make the difference that he was born to make. And so, Jonathan, if you're watching this, I look forward to having you on to share your story here in months to come. But know that whatever your role is in education, you get to take your power back. You get to own your natural brain-wired strength. You get to define what balance means to you. And if the word balance doesn't resonate with you because it creates this not enoughness, then what you get to do is change the word and maybe choose rhythm. What is your daily rhythm? What rhythm really works within your nervous system? How are you waking up on a daily basis? What is that morning routine that starts your rhythm on purpose? That really creates your internal thought process. From the second you notice that you're thinking, what are your thoughts? Shift them if they're not serving you. Because there's so much out there in the world that's pulling at us at all times. And it's up to us as individuals to center, hear ourselves, honor what's coming up for us. And if it's too much, and if it's stress and fear and chaos, feel it. Give yourself permission to feel it, because it's totally valid and totally okay. Find someone that you feel safe with to communicate with. Write it in a journal. Do a PEW exercise, purging emotional waste. Set a timer for 12 minutes and write it all down, angry write. Let it all out, and then burn it. Don't reinfect your brain by rereading it. Burn it, let it go. And then you can actually allow your conscious brain to come back into play for you to then make conscious decisions. There were times during me trying to do too much all at once work-wise, where I wasn't in my conscious mind. I felt scattered. I had stuff all over my desk. I had tabs open beyond the number of tabs that should be open on any computer. And like, I was doing things, but none of it felt organized on some days. And that lack of control, that lack of being empowered to lead from my position of strength, was because I actually got out of balance by not staying true to what I can control, right? And what is within my rhythm, and knowing that, and knowing what's right for me. Because when it resonates with you, you'll know it. And so whatever that is, if you are leading a school community and you have so much going on, start with your internal culture and your admin team, and get all of you in sync, and all of you taking care of yourselves and your own internal culture, and the rest will ripple in a beautiful rhythm. It doesn't happen from us forcing and trying to, this person needs to be fixed, and this person needs to be fixed, and these people aren't getting along, and I need to serve these people, and it's all out here. But when we bring it back into here, and we actually center and go, where is this balance? How am I balanced between the masculine and feminine energies that serve me? Between the do and the be, right? The masculine energy is all about doing. Feminine energy is all about being. Where is my rhythm between the two? Because sometimes it flows to be more in doing, right? And that serves us. And then sometimes it's about being and going, I'm just going to be. I'm just going to allow, and allowing that white space in our brains. The book, A Minute to Think, I think I showed it to you guys before. I had it here on my bookshelf. I'm not sure, actually it might be on my nightstand. Oh, no, here it is. I think I shared this with you guys before, but this book by Juliet Fun, beautiful book, making sure that we build in white space into our lives, that we build in that space to actually think and allow the balance to come in. The balance isn't necessarily something we chase. It's something we feel. And it looks and feels different for everyone. There is no one size fits all. There is no good, bad, right, or wrong. Recognize within yourself what's working and what's not. And if something's not working, then how are you choosing to make one shift at a time? One shift at a time. Because you're worth it. And so really understanding that how we best serve those we are meant to serve in this life, your students, your colleagues, your friends, your families, is from a place of resonance, is from a place of being centered within yourself, of finding your own rhythm and having it be authentic to you. It's not about someone else's version. It's about you. And you get to take your power back and own that. And I am so grateful to all of you for being a part of this community and for coming together and having these conversations once a week. Sheba will be back next week. She was traveling as well today. So I'm wishing everyone safe travels. Again, wishing all of my friends in the Ukraine love and peace and safety. And as we continue to grow forward with these mini masterclasses each week on Thursdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. If you don't get a chance to watch them live, please watch the recordings. Reach out to me if you have any questions. We're in this together. It's going to take all of us from the ground up as educators, as edupreneurs who are on this leading edge. And sometimes it's uncomfortable for us to be busting through these walls at first, to actually amplify our consciousness. And we're in it together. We get to do this together. I have some really exciting things that I'm planning. I was just on a call this morning with a retreat space in Scotland. I am trying to put together Leaders in Education Rejuvenation Retreat in Scotland for the end of September. More details on that coming soon. I am possibly going to visit Scotland at the end of March and go check out this space. It looks amazing and incredible. And anyone that needs rejuvenation really needs this roadmap to what it means to create your life on purpose. We have some virtual programs coming up starting in April. And then we also have the retreat coming up end of September, and hopefully it'll be Scotland. That would be super exciting. And lots of things that I'm planning in the background for this community, all because you guys are worth it and you deserve it. And we as a community together are each other's lifeline. And we can do this. We can revolutionize education from the ground up with our consciousness as our superpower. So when we take our power back and we own who we show up as, and we know it and we're in it together, and even on those rough days, give ourselves permission to feel it. That's part of the rhythm. That's part of the balance. We're human. We're not robots. And that's our superpower, is being conscious humans. And I love and adore all of you. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. I can't thank you enough. Feel free to chime in the chat. Any questions, any thoughts, any things you guys need. Take a deep breath today. Know that you've got this. We've got you, and we're all in this together. Share this forward with anyone else that you think this could serve. And I look forward to seeing you all next Thursday. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.